when Allah created the heavens and the earth, Allah created 100 mercies. Each of them covered what is between the earth and the heaven. And Allah allocated to the earth only one, with which the mother is compassionate with the child, the animals, the birds, the babies, and on the day of the judgment, Allah will complete His mercy on them. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يُرْسِلُ الرِّيحَ بُشْرًا بَيْنَ يَدَيْ رَحْمَتِهِ. He is the one who sends the wind as glad tidings of His mercy. And He says of Himself, وَرَحْمَتِي وَاسِعَتْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. So this, my brothers and sisters, what I'm trying to tell you is that the only thing that you can depend upon is either what Allah has said, or that what we know is the truth of the Prophet ﷺ. The rest of it, we don't know. If we want to be polite, we can say we don't know. But what we do know is that Allah and His Prophet ﷺ, who they are, what they're for, and so on and so forth like that. So now we have this thing of the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ. We saw it, and then they tell us, oh, this is bidah. No, he used to fast every Monday, Prophet ﷺ, you know that. And they asked him, why are you fasting every Monday? He says, it's my birthday. So he celebrated his own birthday, so we know that that's fine, there's no problem with that. Allah says, وَرَحْمَتِي وَاسِعَتْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. My mercy covers all things. And over again, when you read the source material, which is Allah's own speaking, Allah speaks to Himself as forgiving, Allah speaks of Himself as compassionate, Ghafur Rahim, and of the greatness and the extent of that forgiveness and that mercy and that this aspect of divinity that needs to be written in our hearts and in our minds. This is what we have to rely upon. What Allah has said. We cannot rely on what governments have said, whether they're worldly governments or whether they're supposedly holy governments. We can't rely upon those things. You have to throw those things away. You have to apply yourself. You have to apply yourself back to the truth. And the only place that you can find the truth is from Allah. This is the only thing that you can do. And we have to understand individually, as myself, yourself, you have to understand this. And communally, we have to understand that the only is Allah, the merciful, the forgiving of everything but shirk, the compassionate, the one, and He sent somebody as mercy to us, ﷺ. He says, what does He say about the Prophet ﷺ? وَمَا ārsalnākāā иллā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn. This is the truth. This is not some government, not a holy government or a worldly government. This is Allah. He says to who? Muhammad. وَمَا ārsalnākāā illā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn. What do we say? لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. This word illah, those who know Arabic, is a very crucial word because it means for no other reason. مَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Why did He send Muhammad? Why? I didn't send him for any other reason except to be merciful to everything. So now this is the truth, this is the bottom line truth. Everything has to be measured against that. Everything has to be measured against that, against the truth that He is merciful to everything. He is merciful to everything. What does that mean if you're looking in terms of, what we call tasawwuri, following in the footsteps if we want to follow the sunnah of the Prophet, it's not something that people have written about. It's something that Allah has told us that He has been sent as mercy, only as mercy. ʻillā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn, only as mercy. So if you want to be, really to be said that you are a follower of Allah and His Prophet, what is incumbent upon you is to be merciful to everything. Okay? I'm reading in a, you got that. So just leaving that aside for a second. Merciful to everything. Leaving that aside for a second. So I'm reading this account of the Iranians are involved in discussions with the Americans about atomics, right? They accuse them of this and so on and so on and so forth. So the president, I don't remember his name this minute, he said, we gathered all of the ulama together and we explained to them atomic bombs. What do atomic bombs do when they fall? They destroy everything. They destroy men, they destroy women, they destroy children, they destroy unborn children, they destroy the birds, they destroy the animals, they destroy the trees, they destroy everything, everything. And all of us, all of the ulama sitting together said, this is impossible because it is against Allah's mercy. Understand? This is against Allah's mercy. We can't do that. We can't fly in an airplane and drop this thing out of the thing and kill everybody. Because Allah forbids us from doing that, right? We believe that. Do you believe that? You believe that? You read about that thing? Doing something like that is haram. So we're not going to do that because it's haram. And we are Muslims. And we're not going to do what's haram. We try to explain to the Americans when we negotiate with them that you don't have to worry about this. We're not going to do it. How do you know? How do we know you're not going to do it? We tell them, Allah told us that we can't do that. Allah? Oh, God. God told, what? You think that we're going to believe that you're not going to do something because somebody called God told you can't do that? Impossible. He said you cannot negotiate with the Americans because they don't believe in God. So if you tell them the reason you're not going to do that is God told us we can't do something like that, but they can't believe that. You understand what this means, right? When Allah speaks, we respond to Allah's speaking. And Allah tells us certain things, and He tells us this being who is an obscure person living in an obscure city in an obscure part of the world has now changed the world so that there are over 1.7 billion people who believe what? La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. This is the proof of the thing. La ilaha illallah. They believe that. They say that. Whether they're good Muslims or bad Muslims or this Muslims or that Muslims or they're this kind of Muslim or that kind of Muslim, they say La ilaha illallah. And Allah tells them, I sent as to you a messenger who is mercy. What is needed is mercy. Rahmah. You're looking at the world, I'm looking at the world. I told you, go look at Jazeera in the morning or in the evening, I don't care. Look at the news and see the pictures of Yemen. See the situation of the people. See the situation of the children. Is that correct or incorrect? Oh, it's wrong. It's wrong. Right? We have an objective way of looking at the situation, that these people, they want it in their suits and their ties and everything like that, and they all get together in their uniforms. They can't resolve the thing because they don't believe in Allah. They don't really believe in Allah. And they don't believe that Allah has sent somebody to us who is a mercy for everybody. And his only job is mercy. He says again, وَمَا ārsalnākāā ʿillā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn. لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِيتُمْ حَرِيصٌ عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. There has come to you a messenger from among yourselves, and it makes him sad to see what you suffer. He's filled with concern. To the believers, he's kind and compassionate. In this you have to understand that this mercy, what does ʿalamīn mean? Who knows ʿalamīn? It means all the worlds, right? All the worlds. This has been sent to all the worlds as mercy. As mercy to all the worlds. It means he sent it to all people, to all the races, to all the nations, to all the communities, the mercy of Allah. This is what we want to celebrate the birthday of. What are we celebrating? We're celebrating a person who has come, a human being like us, human being. He died. Allah says he walked in the marketplace. That means to tell you he died. He died. He was like us. But he had a special thing, which was that he was to everything, in every context, in everything that he was in, he was merciful. So if you say, I want to live according to the sunnah of the Rasulullah, forget whether you wiggle your finger like this, or you put your hands like this, or you put your hands like that, or you put your this go like this, or that like this, and forget that. The thing is, not that. The thing is, are you merciful? Are you merciful? If you're a man, married man, are you merciful to your wife? Are you? Are you merciful to your children? Are you? Are you merciful to your neighbors? Are you? This is Islam. Not how you dress up, in the masjid you go, and blah blah, and all of this. When it comes down to, if you are a follower of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are merciful. This is what distinguishes not your clothing, not the length of your beard, not your hijab, you're not, nothing, none of this. You can be, perfect beard and imma and long flowing robes and clothes and all of this stuff like that. But if you're a mean person, so what? So what? You can have perfect hijab and everything like that, and all like this and like that, and you're mean? Forget it. What counts is what you do with what Allah gave you. Allah gave you life. He gave the Prophet life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he set as a marker for all of us how to behave. And what is that marker? иллā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn. You say you want to come and understand about the Prophet, you want to understand about these things and so on and so forth. That's the first thing you have to understand. That he did not send him illā-raḥmatal-li-l-ʿalamīn, except for, without any doubt, that purpose. That he is merciful to everybody and everything. You say, am I a Muslim? How am I a Muslim? Do I act like that? Is that the way I behave? Am I behaving like that? If I'm not behaving like that, what do I have to do? I have to change my behavior. I have to change my behavior because I'm a fake Muslim. Unless I'm merciful, I'm a fake Muslim. I may dress like it, I may look like it, I may go to the masjid, I may do all of these things, I may do all these things like that, and so on, so on, so on. But if I'm not merciful, I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I'm a fake. I'm a, what do you call that? I don't know, there's a word for it in English, I forget it. But like that. So when this time comes around every year, blessed time of the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. We use it every year. We had to fight hard to have these things, these celebrations of the life of the Prophet. They thought, oh, we sing songs, we do this, we do that. What it is a process of education. And I have come here tonight to bring to your attention one thing, which is mercy. Mercy. Mercy to everything. And starts with yourself and with your family. Are you merciful? You have to mark yourself as to what you are. We, in turn, have to understand that Allah commands us to obey and to emulate the Prophet, so we have to be like him. How are we going to be like him? By being merciful. We must find this attribute of rahmah hidden among our various selves, min anfusikum, and we must imagine ourselves to be, if we are to truly witness the second part of the Shahada, we must connect ourselves to the sifat of universal compassion, of rahmah, which will serve to connect us to the mercy way of the Prophet, for by being merciful, we shall obtain what? The mercy of Allah, and we need the mercy of Allah. So these things which they accuse us of being, birthday parties, and we sing songs, and it's a matter of education. And so what I want to bring as a thing of education tonight is this idea of understanding mercy. Understanding the necessity. If you want to say you're following the sunnah of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in truth and in reality, I should be able to ask your wife if you were merciful to her. Because who's closer to you than your wife? Or your mom? Or your dad? Or your brothers? Or your sisters? Or your children? Is daddy merciful? Or is he and this and that, and like all these things? Is he merciful? He has no claim to Islam unless he's merciful. You have no claim to Islam unless you're merciful. And who knows it better but your wife, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother? So these are the ultimate people who decide whether or not, who can tell me, are you a merciful person really or not a merciful person? Because they know they have to live with you 24/7, as they say, right? So they know who you are. You live with yourself 24/7. Are you merciful? So if you want to celebrate this birthday of the Prophet, where you have to start, at least in talking about it this year, is in this situation of being merciful. Forget the rest of it. Okay, I pray my sunnah, I pray my fard, I do this, I pray, I get up in the middle of the night, I do that. And if you're like this, then what are you? A liar. A liar. Don't talk to me now. I'm concentrating. I'm tired. Whatever it is, the thing is, I treat my family like that. I treat my friends like that. I treat my associates like that. I'm a liar about my Islam because I'm not being merciful. And if you can imagine, like all the people in here, all of us, we were all merciful, this place would be a beacon to all of Cary. It would say, these people are the best of people, right? Because they're merciful. It would shine forth, like it would convince people of the wonders of this place and everything like that, because the people are merciful. But we're not, or only partially, or in pieces. So what we have to do is self-correction in working upon ourselves to be merciful human beings. That's really the only, I want you to understand the other things, only to understand that people will lie to you about this, and they'll lie to you about that, and the civil authorities will lie to you, and the religious authorities will lie to you, and the ulama will lie to you, and the mullahs will lie to you, and the people will lie, and everybody, whatever like that. and they make up this, that, and the other thing and say, but it comes down to the bottom line, are you merciful? Are you a merciful human being? And do you display mercy to those people who are most intimately connected with you, your family? And that's the proof of the pudding, as they say in English. So that's what all I really want to bring, to your attention, as a way of understanding how to celebrate the birthday. We love the Prophet ﷺ. I believe mostly all of us, we love him. But we don't always know what we're supposed to do. What am I supposed to do as somebody who loves the Rasul? What should I do? Should I pray this many rakats and this and that? No. Be merciful, brothers and sisters. Be merciful to one another. This is what's needed. Cultivate this thing inside of you, this love and everything that it is normally, because he says, خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ بِأَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We were created in the best of forms, the best of things. This was our birthright. This is where I don't know how many of you, because I'm not talking to the women, I don't look at you, how many of you have seen your babies when they're first born? You see them. Perfect. Perfect. And then you see them grow up, and you see them get these things and so on and so forth like that, and they smack their sister or something. It's simple, brothers and sisters. We have to work on this thing at a very simple level of cultivating mercy in ourselves towards everything. That's, he said so many things, but it's a story that sticks in my mind that I put in my notes, that one time the Prophet ﷺ, he saw a man who was kissing and hugging his grandchildren, okay? And this guy said to the Prophet ﷺ, he saw this guy kissing his grandchildren, and he said, I never do anything like that. And the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who do not give mercy will not receive mercy. Start like that with your children, with your,
They're not from us.
Yes. This is a very simple lesson. Easy to see and easy to judge. These are the people. He says, وَعِبَادُهُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ. These are the people who walk modestly upon the earth. Right? We're not trying to show off. We're not trying to do, who are we showing off to? All we want to do is to be better human beings, to be merciful human beings, to love our families, to love our children, to love those, and to love. He used to say, your neighbor, your neighbor, your neighbor. He used to be very big on neighbors. But this is the truth of the thing. So if you want to celebrate the birthday of the Prophet ﷺ, which I do, I love it. And we've seen it many different ways over the years, and we've come and we've talked about it. But I'm now over my 80s, and I try to tell you that all my thinking and everything comes down to what is the predominant thing of all of this in understanding is this question of mercy. Are we merciful? If we want to follow the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we want to be like him, if we want to, it's not the hadith, and the surahs, and all these things. It's whether or not are you merciful or not. That's all I'm going to leave you with. You ask yourself the question. You are the best judge of yourselves. If you want to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, be merciful. That's the message. That's the message. So I ask that in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we all may get that virtue and have that virtue in our hearts to be merciful. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Do you understand?